Hello everybody, Uncle Roddus here again with another bunch of records. Hello Ruby. Oh Ruby, come on. No, off you go. Come on. Not now. Off you go. Come on. Dog wants to get in on the act. Okay. Thought I'd better do a video before I go away this weekend down to Dunedin for a experimental music festival, 4 days, well four evenings, 4 concerts. Also going to do a bit of a vinyl hunt down there. I've managed to scrape together some dough, and there's 2 or 3 good record shops in Dunedin. I picked up some good stuff last time I was down there. Unfortunately one of the shops is shut. Anyway, so getting on quickly. My wife and I spent a day in town on a Sunday last and checked out some new places to buy vinyl. There's a place called the Tannery, which is kind of like a fancy antique type mall. It's a really cool place, really great decor they've got there. Some interesting craft type shops and second hand shops. And there is a surf shop that has a lovely selection of vinyl, and there's also a second hand Kiwi shop selling New Zealand artefacts, and my partner's right into that sort of stuff. Old tins and trays and other knickknacks from like the 50s and 40s and anything. And they also had some vinyl as well, but I didn't find anything that particularly interested me in their shop, but they had quite a bit. Anyway, at the surf shop, my partner said she would buy me a record, and so I went and had a look at there, and I found this baby. This here, Chance R&B. Now this is a reissue, obviously. They never actually had any albums out per se in the time. They released a few singles which have been culled together onto compilations over the years, so I was pretty familiar with them. They're from my hometown of Christchurch. They were around in the late 60s, sort of 66 to 68, pretty much one of New Zealand's premier garage bands, R&B bands. Really raw. They've got a great version of I'm Your Witch Doctor, which was a John Mayall song originally, and another song I was familiar with was Neighbour Neighbour, then a bunch of other ones, and then the side 2 is a live concert of different tracks, some covers and stuff, mainly like Gloria and Dimples, etc, etc. Yeah, really pleased to find this. It's been out for quite a while. Yeah, pretty much a bit of musical history from Christchurch. The same day we went into my usual record emporium, and looking through the New Zealand music section again, I came across a bunch more of these Kiwi Pacific releases. Douglas Lil Bird is, I've probably said this before, New Zealand's premier classical type composer. He started off doing fairly conventional type classical music, and then he went on to more electronic experimental stuff later on. This is all of his, these albums are all of his earlier stuff, and also this one's a compilation. It's got 3 other composers on it as well, done by the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra. This was in about 1970 something, 1976. So yeah, pleased to have this. Like I say, I'm always collecting the Kiwi music editions, New Zealand composer editions. Here's another one. This is just Lil Bird on his own, 2 pieces here from 1986 was the record. The pieces were written, doesn't tell me, 1940 and 1942, very early pieces. Douglas Lil Bird again. These all come from the same collection. As you can see, there's numbers, someone's numbered them in the top corners. That I did ask the guy in the shop, I said, look, what's the story? I noticed that these have come out after I picked up all the other ones that I showed a few videos back, and he said, look, I was actually holding them for someone and they never showed up, so he said this is the last of them. And finally another Douglas Lil Bird. Again, it's a gatefold, and it's from 1945 to 57, so it's quite early. This came out in 1981. I actually haven't played it yet. I'm actually run out of cleaning fluid and I haven't cleaned them up. So, and then the last one I picked up that day, I mean these are fairly cheap pickups. This is on Gaywing, which is another New Zealand label from the early 80s. Surprisingly, didn't think they released this sort of music. This is a soundtrack from a movie called The Silent One. Jenny McLeod. I've got some other her music on other compilations. Yeah, I haven't really had a listen to this yet. Lynn was familiar with the movie itself. It's a movie set in Rarotonga, which is a place we've been to a couple of times, about a relationship between a boy and a deaf boy and a turtle, giant turtle that he befriends. Anyway, and then I was working in town. Penny Lane put up a Facebook page saying that all of their cheap bins had gone from $5 down to $2, probably because they weren't selling it. And I ended up finishing, I was working in town, and I ended up finishing work quite early, so I went into Penny Lane, was checking out the usual bins, and had a bit of time. I thought, oh bugger it, I'll go and have a look at the cheapy bins. I mean, I wasn't expecting much, and it wasn't a lot, but surprisingly I actually did find some stuff, and it's in pretty good condition. So $2 each, I can't complain. So the first one is this. I've actually got this on CD, Joe Jackson's Jumping Jive from 1981, I think it is. So they're doing Joe's doing a bunch of cover versions of early jump blues, sort of jump jazz blues from the 40s. A lot of Lewis Jordan stuff, mainly, and a bunch of other stuff. But I love this album. I've had it for years, and on CD. Yeah, really cool, really good. And then I was really surprised to find this. I've been looking for this for a while, actually, and some of their other stuff, and they surprisingly on vinyl don't seem to turn up that much in Christchurch for some reason. So again, for $2, and I mean the cover's got no major tears, there's no major scratches on it. I played it on the small stereo because I haven't got it clean out. There's a bit of a spine damage, but for $2, man, and it sounds great. I mean, it plays great. There's no bad surface noise on it, and it'll probably sound even better once I get to clean it up. So that was a good score. I picked up this one. This is the third Loxine Golden Disc Award album from 1972. So this completes my set of these albums. So, and this one actually is for the first time. So what these albums was they were put together by the committee or whatever, the Loxine Awards people, and this were the 12 finalists each year, and they did this from, the award started in 1965, and then from 1970, 72 and 73 they put out these 12 track albums, and this is the voting form, so you could vote for your favourite track and send it in. I've never seen the voting form before. I've got the two other volumes. It's the first time I've seen the voting form, so that was kind of cool. And these are really mixed bag. I mean, basically most of the stuff was pretty horrible 70s pap, really. But in each of these albums there's 2 to 3 really great classic New Zealand tracks. This one has a Blurter track, Dance All Around the World. It has a Quincy Conserve track, which I think they were on the other ones. It has a Timberjack Donahue track, which is really, really good. And a Headband track on this one, which some of these I was familiar with, but it's great to have them on vinyl. And yeah, so I mean, if you took the 2 to 3 tracks off each of these, you've got a pretty good set of music, but the rest of them is rubbish. This one here was a big surprise to find in the cheap bins for $2. I have another City Boy album, so they are kind of proggy, poppy, late 70s. I mean, I wasn't expecting a lot from this. I knew the other album was okay. This is actually a lot better than I expected, actually. And the vinyl is pristine. There wasn't a mark on it. I mean, it was absolutely stunning. And the cover's in good nick. So that was a really good score. And it's a good album. So, you know, for $2 each, man, you cannot complain. Now, on Saturday I went into town to do some chores and pick up some things, and I snuck into the record shop, and I'd seen this one around. I mean, I'd heard about this one through the Facebook pages, New Zealand Facebook pages, and a few guys had recommended it highly, and it had been in their bins for quite a while, and it had dropped down to $20 from $30. It's a brand new record. Two Wolves, The Roar and Pearl of Distant Thunder. It's kind of grungy, bluesy, punky sort of stuff. It's quite heavy in places, but there's some pretty cool bluesy stuff. It's a good album. It's a fairly short album, self-released. There's no record label per se, but yeah, highly recommended. And finally, this is a new album that has just come out in the last week or so, or 2 weeks. Motte, Strange Dreams. Now, she's a local girl. I saw her supporting Jay Clarkson at a concert about a month and a half ago now, and she plays violin on her own, and she puts the violin through some loops and she builds layers of it, and it's kind of like an ambient drone, and then she does some vocalizing over top of it, and it's quite wonderful. And I was quite interested in the live concert. I saw her, and I'd never seen her before. I didn't know who she was, and I was quite impressed with what she did, and her voice was really cool. I liked her voice, so it kind of stuck for me. It was like, yeah, okay, that's interesting. And then I had to listen to this on Bandcamp, and I was thinking, just quickly, I don't know whether it's something I'd like to listen to that much. And then Chris picked up a copy of it, Chris Walker, as he does, because it's New Zealand and he's onto everything. And he was blown away by it. So I had to revisit another listen to it a bit more closely the other night. And yes, it did sound quite nice on off Bandcamp. Just had to listen to it, streamed it. And I knew that there were some copies of this in Christchurch at one of the other records, at Galaxy, so I popped in on Saturday morning and picked it up. And yeah, listening to it closer, it's actually wonderful. It's a wonderful album, and she's got a great voice, and it sounds fantastic on the big stereo. So yeah, I was pretty pleased to have this. There is some issues with the vinyl, which I might have to take it back. And finally, and I skipped this one to be honest, because I forgot I had it here, but it's playing in the background. Primitive Art Group. Now this is a Braille Records release. This is Braille #1. This is their very first release from 1984. Yeah, as you can hear, it's kind of pretty far out jazzy sort of stuff. I've got their other album, and I'm pleased to find this. Paid a fair bit for it, but it is a double album. Yeah, this is really, really good. Really fantastic music. I absolutely love this. I'm still trying to collect all the Braille. I don't know, there's probably, the catalogue's not big. Maybe 30 odd releases, but some of those are later on were on CD, not on vinyl. Chris has just completed his vinyl collection of this label, so he's got them all, but they don't turn up that often. They're not that easy to find, and there are a couple which I might struggle to get. I mean, I could go shopping online. I tend to not worry too much about that. I'm trying to wait for them to see if they turn up in the shop, but this is about the 5th one I've picked up now. So alright, that's me. As you can see, I'm in my work clothes, and I probably should go back to work and do something, eh? Just filling in between jobs. So, right, well, there'll be another video coming up after my trip to Dunedin, and hopefully I will have a big swag of vinyl if I can afford it. Well, it depends what they've got for sale down there. But hoping to pick up some reasonably rare New Zealand gems if they're not too expensive. So we'll see you next time.